Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of the What's Next on Basketball podcast. I am your host, as always, Jeremy, and we are here with episode 12 of the What's Next on Basketball podcast, and welcome everyone. It's been a minute since I've done my last episode. I already told you guys how I didn't really want to make an episode until I felt like I had enough stuff to talk about for that episode. And boy, oh boy, do we have a lot. If you saw that intro for the YouTube video, obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, then you saw the intro. But if you didn't see the intro and you're watching this on Spotify, here's basically what happened. So, let's just kick it off with the first thing. Damian Lillard is going to the Milwaukee Bucks. And that's crazy. You know, I talked about it. I made a YouTube video about it. Go check it out if you haven't already on the What's Next on Basketball YouTube channel. But I talked about it and gave my opinions and basically just did a whole review of the I had a hiccup there, of the trade. And I didn't grade it at all because I said I would grade it on the podcast episode, and now we're here. So I'm going to grade all the teams that were involved. There was 3 teams: the Bucks, the Suns, and the Trailblazers. So I'm going to grade all of them pretty quickly. I'm not going to take too long with it, but just how I felt about it. And yeah, so let's start obviously with the Bucks. The Bucks got Damian Lillard, and me personally, I'm going to give them an A-. So the reason why I'm giving the Milwaukee Bucks an A- is because obviously getting Damian Lillard is fantastic. I have told you guys this, I made a whole video about my top 100 NBA players. Go check that video out if you haven't already either. And when it came to Damian Lillard, I have him 9th, and I have Giannis 2nd, which means in my list, heading into the new season, the Milwaukee Bucks now have 2 top 10 players, in my opinion, top 10 players on their team. That is very, very scary. Not only that, but this is going to be an insane duo to have. You have Damian Lillard, who's arguably one of the best point guards in the NBA, and Giannis, who's arguably one of the best centers. And putting these two together, you might as well just be ready, because this is about to be like the new era of Shaq and Kobe. That's I'm gonna put out there. I know I'm going far-fetched with it. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating it, but I'm telling you guys, this is about to be a crazy team. That's why I gave it an A-. But the reason why I gave it an A- and not something like, an A+, is because I do have to put it down a bit, because Jrue Holiday, I felt like, was a really big piece for the team, and unfortunately they had to trade Jrue Holiday, and they traded away I know Grayson Allen and some other players that were considered really good defensive players. So I'm a little bit concerned defensively for them, but they do have players that could easily fit that role. So I don't think it's that much of a problem, especially when you have Dame and Giannis on the team, and you still have Brook Lopez, you still have Chris Middleton, and you have Bobby Portis, I believe, still. It's not going to be too big of a deal, but it is a bit concerning that they should at least check up on. So yeah, my grade for the Bucks is an A-. Now, let's go to the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns got Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. They got 4 players from this trade, and I'm giving the Suns an A+. Again, the Suns throughout this entire offseason, what was the 2023 offseason, they've just been trying to find pieces to help build around their core players, which is Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. Am I missing anyone else? I might be missing another player. I mean, obviously DeAndre Ayton is no longer with the team, so we don't really need to worry about him that much. I'm sure there's another player I'm missing on the Suns, but those are like the key guys right there. And they've just done a great job. Great job all around. Like, all those players right there, they're not obviously superstar, players, but they don't need that. They just need players that are going to be good role players and are going to, do what they need to do to help this team win. This Phoenix Suns, I'm sure, I haven't checked the odds for it, but I'm sure the Phoenix Suns are definitely a very top team when it comes to odds and winning the championship. They're just a really good team overall. And again, another great trade by them. So they get an A+. Next is the Trailblazers, and this was the last team in the 3-team trade. The Trailblazers got a very big haul. They got Jrue Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Tomani Kamara, the Milwaukee Bucks 2029 unprotected first round, and they got an unprotected swap rights pick for the 2028 and 2030 season. And again, they also get an A+. This was phenomenal. As we all know, I just dropped my phone. Hold on, guys. As we all know, this entire summer, for the last 2 months, Damian Lillard had requested a trade, and when he requested the trade, the team that he wanted to go to was the Miami Heat. And we just all assumed that sooner or later the Miami Heat were going to be able to get Dame, that maybe the Trailblazers were just going to give in, but the Trailblazers were very serious on not trading Dame unless they got a good haul in return. And I'm honestly glad that they waited, because this was great to get from them. Of course, we all know that Jrue Holiday did get traded later on to the team that I will talk about later. And it was expected. No one really believed Jrue Holiday was going to stay with the team. They knew this was going to be another trade piece, which is why it was a great trade, because now you can trade him to another team to get even more stuff in return. And stuff they got in return was that's another thing I'm going to talk about. But let's just focus on this one first. Getting Jrue Holiday was great, and DeAndre Ayton, I think, was this. I might be ahead of myself, but I think this might be a steal of a trade. I'm just putting it out there. DeAndre Ayton is a great center. He is. He can be a great center. Unfortunately, he had a terrible, performance last season, and that's why I had him like all the way bottom in my top 100. But I think it was just because of the team he was on. He just hated the Phoenix Suns. He didn't like the environment. He just needed a new place to go to. And this might honestly help DeAndre Ayton. I'm right now currently, as of recording, Media Day was yesterday, so I watched DeAndre Ayton's clip of him going to the Trailblazers and stuff and how he feels about it, and this man just looks excited. He is so happy to be on a new team. I think he's really, really gonna shine with the Trailblazers. It's gonna be him, it's gonna be Scoot, it's gonna be Shaedon Sharpe, Jeremy Grant. There's some other guys there too, but overall, it's gonna be great for DeAndre. So I'm really happy for him. As for Tomani Kamara, I think is how you say his name. Unfortunately, I don't know much about him, if he's a good player or not. But again, another guy to have on the team, see what he's got. So it's pretty cool. And then the picks were just great to have. Great picks to get from the Bucks for the future, just to help their team build more and more. So that was really nice to see. Now, next up, I want to talk to you guys. That was a Dame trade. I just wanted to get that out right away because I know you guys are probably waiting. The second thing I want to talk about is the James Harden. So, as of recording, on Media Day, James Harden didn't show up. And fans were really concerned. He didn't show up at all for Media Day, and we thought maybe this was about to be another Ben Simmons situation. But that didn't happen. He actually ended up showing today to do training camp. So it looks like James Harden will be there for training camp, but I think the reason as to why he did that was a part of the NBA rule, which I will talk a little bit more about the NBA rule after this. But just to put it out there, the NBA, there's a new NBA rule. I'll just talk about it now since I'm already discussing it. The NBA rule, to kind of sum it up in the best way I can, they basically are trying to stop the whole load management on teams. So like now, you can't just sit out your superstars. You have to have like a reason for it. So like you can't sit out more than like one superstar at a time. There's like a bunch of these rules that they're doing for the superstars because they don't want something like a Clippers situation where they have like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George just sitting out the entire time. I don't care how much of an excuse Kawhi wants to make saying, that he's injured and the doctors are telling him not to go. I don't care. You're injured way too much for you to be sitting out that long. If you are that much injured, then you need to stop playing basketball. Simple as that. But that's kind of the rule. And they did like some other rules, like For example, what happened with the Ben Simmons situation, if you try to like sit out and refuse to participate in games, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get a very, very huge fine every time you don't participate. And the best way to sum it up, because I'm sure there's more to it, but they basically can kind of like freeze your contract, which means the team is allowed to not trade you anywhere. Like if you ask for a trade, the team can refuse to trade you anywhere. They can keep you there for as long as you want, and your contract kind of freezes. So let's say you decide not to play the entire season and you have 1 year left, but next season you're like, oh, I want to play some basketball. You can play basketball, yeah, but you're staying with the Sixers because you have 1 year to play with them. You can't just be like, oh, I'll let my contract run out. No, that's not how it works. You are going to stay with that team, and they can even like refuse you to do anything, like participate in stuff and all that until I guess you come back. I don't know. It's this whole big thing. You guys can check it out on your own if you want. It's just it's been a while since it's been up there, so I haven't really talked about it. I just want to do kind of a quick summary. But that's basically what the new rule is, to stop load management and to stop things like players trying to just like refuse to practice and participate in stuff. So because of that, that's most likely the reason as to why James Harden returned, because I'm sure he knew about the new rule. I'm sure his team told him about it, saying, listen, I know you're upset and I know you don't want to be on the Sixers, because he's made that very, very clear to the public that he does not want to be with the Sixers. So it's understandable. I get it. I really understand why he doesn't want to do it. But again, he was going to come to training camp, I guess. So maybe this is good news for you guys, but I don't have you guys winning the chip, so don't think you're back to like being championship contenders, because you have a lot of drama going on your team that is 100% going to affect the season. So be prepared for that, Sixers fans. That's going to be fun. I already talked about the NBA rule. Next, let's talk about the Jrue Holiday trade. Jrue Holiday is now a Boston Celtics player. That's right. The Trailblazers were able to trade Jrue Holiday to the Boston Celtics. Let me look here as to what the trade package looked like, because this was a crazy package that they got. So so the Trailblazers send, what was it, Jrue Holiday? Was it just Jrue Holiday? Okay, I guess it was only Jrue Holiday that they sent. And in return, the Celtics traded, Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, and a 2024 first-round pick via Golden State Warriors, and a 2029 first-round pick as well. So again, they just got 2 more picks. I think overall they have like 5 picks, because they had a first-round pick from the Bucks, and then I think 2 more picks. Yeah, I think they have like 5 or 6 picks. That is crazy. And that was like altogether like 3 in 3 days. I think they got like 5 picks from trades. So like that was insane. The Trailblazers are definitely ready for that rebuild, and that's great to see for Trailblazers fans. I know you guys are very, very just disappointed with the whole Dame thing, but let me say this. I think the Trailblazers realized their mistake, which is why they're trying to get so many young guys, so many guys that are considered as all-star players, like Ayton. I think some might consider an all-star player. Jeremy Grant, I'm sure, is an all-star player. I think he's an all-star player. And you got some other young guys that are becoming better. So I think they realized their mistake, and they don't want to do the same thing to Scoot Henderson. Excuse me. I just think they don't want to make that same mistake. So they're really trying hard to give him a team that he can build around, and hopefully they can, in the future, be a championship team. As for now, you guys are just going to have to wait a bit. I don't know how long you'll have to wait, but you guys have to wait a bit until that team's ready. As for the Celtics, let me just say the grades first. For the Trailblazers, I think this was another A-plus trade. This was great by them. You got Robert Williams. That too, you have Robert Williams on the team, and you have Malcolm Brogdon, who was just 6th man of the year, which most likely they'll probably try to trade Malcolm Brogdon again. Maybe they'll keep him on the team, but I feel like he'll be a part of another trade. And this is just great. A+ by me. You guys did a great job with this trade. As for the Celtics, I'm giving you an A. You guys were just, I'll say B plus actually, and I'll explain why. This was a great trade, another great player. This is a player that you need on a championship team because he's a player where he should be on a championship team that's ready to compete, not no rebuild like the Trailblazers. So that was great. And Jrue Holiday is one of the best perimeter defenders currently in the game. So that was just another great idea to have him on. My only concern is that you kind of don't have the greatest roster, I'll say. Besides your superstars, your bench players, your role players aren't looking too hot. And I personally think that's a concern and could potentially ruin your guys' run to go for the title. We've seen it before with many, many teams. I'm sure there's many teams that you guys can mention, but we've seen it time and time again where they try to do something like, oh, let's just run it for superstars and we should be good. No, you need a bench. You need players that are good on the bench, that are good at their position and can help you, win as well. Because you can't just rely on your superstars, especially the superstars you guys have on your team. I'm just being serious. Jrue Holiday, he's getting older. He's had his issues of injuries. Kristaps Porzingis is injury prone. We already know that. Jason Tatum be getting injured a couple times in the playoffs. Jaylen Brown, there's been times he's shown he's not the greatest guy to rely on. And you have, who is it, Al Horford as your center? He can be good, but come on now. Al Horford, that was my big concern of them doing the trade was, why did you trade away Robert Williams? But then again, Robert Williams is also a guy that gets injured a lot. So, I guess, they had to pick their poison at that point. It's just, again, I'm a little worried about your bench, and that's all I have to say. So I'm giving you guys a B+. It was a good trade, but you still have some concerns you guys, some questions you guys need to solve. And yeah, that's all I have to really say about the Jrue Holiday trade. Next up, we have to talk about... let's talk about this new sponsor, this new sign-in deal that's happening. So let me actually pull up the whole article, so make sure I'm saying everything correct. If you guys didn't hear about it already, Mr. Beast is doing a brand deal with the Charlotte Hornets. That's right. He's doing a patch deal, to be more exact. So heading into this new season, Mr. Beast will have a patch on the Hornets jersey that's going to sponsor his Feastable candy bars, which I highly recommend, by the way. I really love Mr. Beast's candy bars. They're really good. So Mr. Beast, if you're watching this, hey, I'm always down for a sponsor. I think it's pretty good. I like the candy. Obviously it's I guess it's supposed to be more healthy. I don't know. Regardless, it's just, I think the candy's really good. I've eaten it a couple times. I try my best to stay away from, candy these days because I don't want to be eating too much. But, his candy's really, really good. I try to eat more of it's still not healthy, but I try to eat more of Oreos. Oreos is my go-to thing. But I'm getting sidetracked. But anyway, to explain the deal here, let's see. I don't know how long the deal is for. Let's see if it talks about it here in the article. No, it doesn't say. It just talks about how Mr. Beast is going to have a patch for the jersey here. I'm sure for the YouTube video, I'll put a screen up as to what the jersey is going to look like. But yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm really happy that they did this because they mentioned how this is the first time an influencer and an NBA team have actually done a deal together, especially for a patch deal. So this is great to see because now this will give a bigger opportunity for more influencers in the future. Something Logan Paul and KSI with their Prime drinks. This is going to open some new doors for the NBA that could help them gain even more money, which is just great to see. I'm really happy for Mr. Beast. I think this is a great idea, especially for the Hornets, because this is great for the Hornets as well, because this gives you more, publicity? This just gives you more attention, is what I want to say, to the team. And I'm just saying, I'm buying a jersey. Once they come out with that jersey and it shows Mr. Beast, I'm buying a jersey. I'm going to get a LaMelo Ball jersey, because at this point, he's the only player I like on the team, let's be honest. But, so I'll be getting that jersey. I'm gonna try to get a couple jerseys this year. I'm gonna try to get LaMelo. I'm gonna try to get Obi Toppin's Pacers jersey. Which, oh, by the way, oh no, I'll talk about later. But I'll get Obi Toppin jersey. Obviously, some more Knicks jerseys. I've been wanting to get some like other teams. As of right now, all I really have is Knicks. But I would love to get other jerseys for other players because there's obviously more players I like besides the Knicks. But yeah, that's all I'd say. That was a quick one there. Next here, we have one last thing to talk about. Like I said, this was going to be a pretty quick episode because I have another video I got to work on. So, this might be one of the shortest episodes of the podcast. But, like I said, it was a couple things I wanted to talk about, but I didn't want to take a whole hour again, because we didn't really need to talk about an hour for these things. But the next thing I want to talk about is about actually the WNBA. I know I don't really talk much about the WNBA. My phone just fell there. But this was actually something pretty cool, actually, which obviously, if you guys don't know, the WNBA Finals will be this Sunday. Yeah, this Sunday. Actually, Sunday's my birthday as well, so that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll try to check on the game. If I'm correct, let me see the teams here. I just saw on ESPN they were talking about it because I follow the New York team on there. It's going to be the New York Liberty versus Las Vegas Aces. So yeah, that's game one of the WNBA Finals. You guys should go check it out. It seems like it's going to be a really good series between those two. But anyways, when it comes to the WNBA, there's been some reports that apparently the Golden State Warriors are interested in making a team. Now, I don't know how far they are into the deal with this, but it seems like they're very, very close to making a deal with the WNBA and, expanding a team there. So we could potentially be seeing a team over there. I don't know if it will be in Golden State or something. I don't know where it's going to be exactly, but they are interested in a team. So that's pretty cool to see. Obviously, there's been some interesting stuff going on in the WNBA, and just problems and concerns of players and all that. We all have these things of I don't want to watch the WNBA. I don't want to do this. Personally, I watch it here and there. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not going to come out here and be oh yeah, I'm a number one WNBA fan. No, if you ask me to name one single player in the entire league, I'm not going to be able to do it. I don't know anyone's names. I don't know anybody. But I just like seeing the games here and there and seeing, how that league is doing. But yeah, no, that's just what I had to say there. And with that, that's all the big news I wanted to say. I'm just going to end it off here by the last thing I'll talk about is just thanking you guys for when it comes to the YouTube support. So as of recording right now, we currently have, let me see here. We currently have 17 subscribers on the What's Next on Basketball YouTube channel, which in the grand scheme of things, yes, I know that's not a lot, but to me, I really appreciate it. I'm just really happy to see that's been getting a lot of success, especially with the videos. The video so far, like I said, I think I talked about it earlier in the video. If I didn't, I'll say it again. I got two videos that have gotten over 100 views. My top 100 NBA players, which you guys really enjoyed, and my predictions for the 23-24 standings, which you guys should also go check that video out if you haven't already. And even that, my recent videos have all been getting at least 40 views or higher. So that's just really cool to see. And I'm really happy that people are enjoying it. And then I had this YouTube short. This is what I was going to talk about when it came to Obi Toppin. If you guys didn't see it, I made a pretty funny little NBA meme. It was a picture with Obi Toppin and Tyrese Halliburton. And, me being a Knicks fan, it was just me being sad and stuff. So I put these funny memes and stuff that was sad. It was this little template that I used that had sad memes on it. And it had a, super sad song. So I was haha, this is funny. I'm going to post it. And, I just posted it just because I didn't really expect much from it. And I woke up the next day to having 1.7 thousand people that viewed it. And I was 1,700 people just saw this. Okay. That's interesting. and I actually gained like a couple subscribers from it, which is why I'm at 17 now, which was really cool to see. I was really happy about it. And, again, I just appreciate you guys watching. And I know you guys really like the NBA standings video. And, it's great all around. I have a lot of videos that I'm working on right now. Obviously, we have the podcast here that I'm going to try to finish. Hopefully, I can upload today. I don't know if I'll be able to upload today. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. But, I'm gonna get it out there by the end of this week. This one, and then I have another video. Let me see what the other one is here. I won't say what it is it's going to be, but I'm pretty sure I have another one that should be here. Yeah, I have 2 videos that hopefully should be uploaded by the end of this week, or at least sometime this week. And then I have like 3 more videos in the works, 2 that might take a while to do just because of how crazy the video is. And yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to talk about in this episode. Again, another quick episode for the What's Next on Basketball podcast. Hopefully, with the new season coming around, we'll be able to talk about a lot more stuff. I mentioned it before, but I'll say it again. I am thinking of trying to do a schedule. I've been trying to figure out exactly what I want to do with the podcast, because I didn't know if I wanted to watch all the games. And if I do, I think I'm just going to make a YouTube video for it. And then on here, I'll just talk about legit just news. Like, I'll mention the games that have happened. Maybe I'll give like, oh, here's what happened in the last 2 days or whatever when it came to the NBA. But this will just strictly be NBA news, rumors, whatever. So if you want to hear my opinions on the actual games, I'm sure I'll talk about it on here too, like from time to time. But if you want to hear my actual reviews, go check out the YouTube channel. And if you are watching this on the YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe and make sure to share this with anyone, make sure to like the video, all that stuff. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching, and yeah, see you guys next time.